Draco. I took out the Draco engine. Joe's working the camera, so apologies for any mishaps. Okay, so we're going to burn through this as quickly as we possibly can. So this is Odd-eyes Majespecters, 2 Odd-eyes Pendulum Dragons, which works out insanely well. So obviously you can pop it in the end phase and search out Rambukus and stuff like that. But it works out really well with the new Odd-eyes Performer Power cards. So this guy, when Odd-eyes monster declares when it declares an attack, you can target another Performer Power monster you have on the field and give that attack to Odd-eyes, and then obviously Odd-eyes does double damage. 2 Phoenix. So I bumped this up. So this deck is changed from Nationals to Regionals, but as I go through it, I'll show you the differences that I made. So I added an Odd-eyes Dragon and took out the magic. So basically, the engine that was taken out was the magic Draco Slayer engine, mainly for more Odd-eyes stuff. So I added in another Phoenix because when Phoenix and another card is in your Pendulum zone and you get attacked directly, you pop the other Pendulum's card and it special summon this guy out, so it slows down OTKs. 2 Sorcerers just to pop it out. I had this at 1 and I've upped this again. I took out an Archfiend Eccentric for it because I had 3 of those and it was a bit cloggy. The one Monkey Board, obviously this can change again. If you have nothing but you've got a full extra deck, you summon this guy. As long as you pull both effects off, you can search out the scale 8 Unicorn and then just go straight off into a Pendulum summon. The one Skullcrawler Joker obviously can be searched with Monkey Board, and then you normal this guy, and this guy will get you another card to put into your scale. The 2 Archery Eccentrics for popping on field, popping back row, and being a scale 7. The one Luster Pendulum, this might go. I only kept it in to keep the access to Ignister, but I just don't see it enough. Obviously, I can search it if I really want to with the extra deck card, but that's not that big. I mean, it's quite nice having it. It works with Majespecters because Majespecter scales are 5 and 2, so you can use this pop a Majespecter and build up your extra deck, especially if you're going to go into Vortex. So 3 Kibi searches out a Majespecter Trap. 3 Kirin, and obviously Kirin has a quick play effect where you can target another Pendulum monster you control during either player's turn and then bounce that card back to the hand and then bounce a card your opponent a monster your opponent controls. So obviously you can recycle your Monkey Boards if you pendulum it out, if it gets popped and pendulum it back out, and obviously Skulker Bats and stuff like that. All Majespecters share the same effect. They can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, which causes a bit of an issue sometimes and slows stuff down. 3 Majespecter Ogama Toads. This guy sets a Majespecter spell or trap directly from the deck to the field, so it gets past Dark Block if you don't search. And then 3 Rambuku, so you summon this card, normal or special summon this card, and it searches out another Majespecter monster. So if you need a lower scale or a higher scale, well, ideally you want to be looking for your 2 scales, and it searches that guy out and goes from there. The other monster in there is a Maxi. I tried this out. I didn't use this in the Nationals. I used this in the Regional afterwards. I don't like Maxi personally, but I understand why people do. 2 MSTs because sometimes I just don't have the hand to get away for Twin Twister, and obviously the MST I top decked against Monarch when I had nothing in hand and popped his domain, so that worked well. Odd-eyes Fusion obviously was added in for the Regionals, not the Nationals, so Unexpected Die came out, which I was using to search out the Vanilla Dragon, so Master Pendulum, thank you. And obviously Odd-eyes Fusion, if your opponent controls 2 monsters and you control none, you can use 2 Odd-eyes cards from your extra deck to fuse, otherwise you can just use it from hand and field. 1 Rogeki to blow up the field, 2 Sky Iris and 2 Terraforming. Obviously Terraforming helps thin your deck out. I did have for the Nationals I had a Majespecter, Magister Pegasus, the field spell, but it just wasn't doing enough for me, so I took it out. And obviously when I'm siding out, I have Necro Valley on my side, so I usually either take out an Iris or take out a Terraforming to swap that around. So that's the spells there. I will say the deck is at 40 cards, quite a heavy monster lineup, but 2 Tornado, so basically you tribute a wind monster, and then target and banish one of your opponent's cards. So obviously this comes out against Cosmo because it's not that useful. 3 Tempest, which is great because it's basically like a strike, and it's free as long as you've got a Majespecter on board. And then 1 Warning, because why not play Warning? It helps you out in so many different situations.
The Majespecter traps also just require a wind attribute monster, so you can play things like Dragon Pit Magician.
Yeah. They're not Dragon Pit's light, isn't it?
No, so it is The magician, dragon magician. That's a wind.
One of the magicians is wind.
Wind spellcaster. Just because it makes the Majespecter traps live. Because they just require wind spellcaster.
Okay, so onto the extra decks. We'll try and burn through this one. So number 47, Nightmare Shark, never went into this. It's just there for Archfiend Eccentric and Rambuku just to pop in. Never went into this guy either, number F0 Utopia Fusion. This is just if your opponent has a big board and you can get 2 XEs that aren't numbers out, overlay into this guy and it kind of slows everything down. Castel, again, I think I went into this once. He obviously Castel's that generic. If you can make him in a rank 4 deck with ease, then go with it. Trapeze Magician. I know most people are getting rid of this card, but I like the fact that you detach, let one of your cards attack twice. So if you can get your Odd-eyes to attack twice and have another performer power on board, you're going to like gain it there and then. I got into him once or twice, and he worked out quite well. Diamond Dyer. I went into him once, I think, so he did okay. Abyss Dweller, pretty standard on that one. Gaga Cowboy, this guy has won me 2 games today, believe it or not, against Monarchs. I did 7,200 damage. I was waiting on 800. I top decked to level 4, got another level 4 out, gained, and then we was into time. And the guy Grand Horn of Heaven me my 2 Pendulum Swords, which was Kirin and Odd-eyes. I drew off of that, and the draw was another level 4, and I hadn't normal summon that turn, so I had a Skulker Bat already on field, put that in that, into Gaga, detached, 800, and then went time finished, so that won me a game. Majespecter is just for the search at the end phase. Now that I've taken out the Draco engine, so I've taken out 2...
Master Pendulum.
Not Master Pendulums, 2 Dynasters, the fusion cards. From this deck, and I've replaced them with Odd-eyes cards, so when I get to the Odd-eyes cards I'll explain that. And I think I took out number 38, I think it is, Hope Harbinger, because obviously without the Dynasters you don't need it in there because it's going to be a lot harder to make your rank 8s. 1 Ignistar, never went into this guy I don't think.
You also took out a Totem Bird.
Oh yeah, and I took out a Totem Bird for the Odd-eyes cards when we get to those. Never went into this guy just because I didn't see it enough, but I know how good it is. And a Lightning Chidori, this did a bit of work today. Very spare-ish, but the pop a set card and then pop 1 back to the top of the deck, it does quite well. Utopia Beyond won me a Cosmo matchup, so I got 2 Korrins out. He had a Dark Destroyer on field, Korrin into this guy, reduced Dark Destroyer to 0, attack Dark Destroyer. I had a Raccoon on the field, and then Tempest, the Dark Destroyer effect, and then left the board clear. So now onto the Odd-eyes engine, which has been changed. So Odd-eyes Absolute that I added in for the regionals. Obviously 2 Odd-eyes cards Odd-eyes monsters go into him, but also he's fodder to get rid of for the Odd-eyes Fusion. Odd-eyes Meteor Burst. Again, he's fodder to be. He can be brought out if your Absolute gets destroyed, and he's good against the Cosmo matchup. But also he's mainly fodder again for the fusion. Odd-eyes Rebellion again is fodder for the fusion and Absolute Dragon.
You can also just overlay 2 7s into it.
Yeah, you get 2 7s into Odd-eyes Rebellion, and then obviously the main card is Vortex. So Vortex, obviously, when he's summoned, you get to pop a card. Is that right?
Bounce a card.
Bounce card. Yeah, you bounce a card when he's special summoned. He's a 3k defender, 2500 attacker, and then if your opponent activates, it's not even once per turn. So if your opponent activates during each player's turn when a spell, trap, or another monster effect is activated, you can shuffle 1 face-up Pendulum monster from your extra set into your deck, negate the activation, and destroy it. You can only use each effect of Odd-eyes Vortex once per turn, so he's only a once per turn card, but he's okay if you've got one in your Pendulum deck. So maybe if your scales are 3 and 8 and you've got a Rambuku, or you've got an Odd-eyes in there that you don't need, you can shuffle that back into your deck and go again. But yeah, Vortex won me 1 game in the Nationals. I wish, after looking back at it, I really do wish that I put the Odd-eyes engine in instead of the Draco engine. I went, I think it's 5 wins, 4 losses,
5.
1 draw. Yeah, 5 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. And my losses were all against, I think it was Cosmos and Eccles. So anyway, we'll get onto the side deck. So 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirrors for Monarchs and Cosmo. like we said, it's been a long day, so bear with us. 2 Necro Valleys. This actually, I could put in quite a lot of work. It scares the opponent because I did it against Burning PK, Cosmo, and Monarchs, and they just don't expect it. Like, they're starting to get too used to it now that Clees are coming back. But they just weren't so surprised about that. And it put more work in for them to do. 2 system downs. Obviously, Cosmo was the main target on these. Never really got to resolve it. I'm not 100% sure on this. So yeah, I had 2 Iron Imperial Iron Walls, and I took one out for the regional ones to cover for Clees. So I'll put Clees at the back and show you those later. I have 1 Gamma Seal. I also took out the other Gamma Seal for the Clees stuff in the regionals, not the nationals. 2 Chaos Trap Holes. Never went into it. Never put it in because. I don't know, I suppose with Majespecter this is not the best because obviously you've got Tempest, but this can help out quite a bit. Drowning Mirror Force, great card, but every time I went into it, they popped it, or every time I signed it in, they popped it. I never faced, in the regionals, I never faced Clees, but I had Full House and Fairy Wind for Clees, just to be covered to that. And then a card that put in quite a bit of work and actually did really, really well is Prohibition. I've only got 1 of it, I can obviously up it to 2, and I would recommend upping it to 2. Lymphio was also there, and then he played Counter Fairies, and he had 3 of these in his side deck as well. So it's a card that people just weren't expecting, and you drop it down, declare a name, and they can't use that card regardless for any. You can't use that card's effect. You can't use it in the graveyard, whatever, while this card's active. And just not many people expect it. So you can hit some of the Monarch Squires, so they don't get the refresh. You can use Gem Knight. You can call Gem Knight Fusion. You can call. So I used it and called Dark Destroyer, and that threw off the Cosmo player. That gave me a win on that. Because his Dark Destroyer was locked down, he couldn't do anything with the Dark Destroyer, and obviously it went through with it with Utopia Beyond. So yeah, that's the 15 card side deck, 40 card main deck, and 15 card extra deck. Thank you to Joe for lending me the Odd-eyes stuff when we did the regionals bit.
No worries.
It was nice to test that out and just get around how it works. Yeah, I do regret not running it now and not being able to test my deck enough. But I think it worked out quite well throughout the entire weekend, and it was an amazing experience for every one of us involved. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check out our channel for other videos, and obviously check out Michael's Mermail topping deck profile with, who was it again, sorry?
Caractula 3.
Caractula 3, so we'll put a link to his video in that one there. So yeah, again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll bring you more videos hopefully now that Nationals is over, and hopefully some of us might get invites to Euros, and obviously we know Michael has, and we'll be able to follow that story on. So yeah, cheers guys, happy doing it.